ideal. I'd say the best part of the Roadmaster is its drivability. It drives so nice down the road. It's comfortable, it's quiet, you can step on it, it's got plenty of power, you can hear it. Goes on the highway at 75, I mean the speed limit, no problem. It doesn't scream going down the highway. It's just everything that it should have been back in 1950, but they didn't have LSs and didn't have me back in 1950, so they got the inline 8 instead. Somebody loved the straight 8 and the Fireball. I don't. I like V8s. Jeff knew I was the guy for the job. He knew that if anyone could put way too much horsepower into a brick, it'd be me. Being a 1950 Buick Roadmaster, there's been 70 plus years of other people working on it, wear and tear and abuse put on it. So that added some of the challenges to it. We started working on this back in April, and we've just now reached completion. Over the 5 months, it's been definitely a roller coaster of emotions. When we first picked it up, Jeffrey piled half the shop into the back seat of it and took it on its maiden voyage.
Don't press too hard.
And it immediately broke down.
Oh no.
Alright, we can't go to California.
Hey, you guys need gas?
You have that with any job, but the end result, I believe, turned out as good as we could produce here. The exhaust system was probably one of the more difficult tasks. To keep the steering column and original wheel provided challenges for the exhaust, making all of that fit, sound decent, look good, and the shifter linkage, because that's all in the column. Making all that work was definitely difficult. It is definitely much faster than it used to be. We took the anemic straight 8 that made 120 horsepower out, and it's got a 450 horsepower 5.3 in it with a 4LADE, and it's way better. Building the driver's side header to clear the column and the factory shifter linkage so we could use the shifter on the column was definitely difficult to do. It probably have 15-20 hours into each side header, and then we were going to use a conventional long tube header on the passenger side, but we all determined that we should have a similar looking header. So that added another challenge to try and replicate the driver's side header, but on the passenger side now. And so the original transmission was a Dynaflow, and it came out in 1948, and it was sort of like a modern CVT where the engine never changed. It was just one gear and drive, and it used magic and 1948 technology, and it accelerated, and it worked for when the speed limits were 15 miles an hour, but was definitely not suitable to be behind a 450 horsepower LS engine or maintain 75 down the highway. I mean the speed limit down the highway. The rear suspension had to be completely redone. It now has a quick performance Ford 9-inch, 4-linked QA1 coilovers, double adjustable, fancy stuff in the back, unlike the worn out, rusted coil springs it had. And it had some sort of 3-link torque tube design that you couldn't retrofit any modern transmission to. The drive shaft was in a tube that connected to the back of the Dynaflow transmission. It was not conducive to anything modern. The hood, as odd as it seems, is one of the best features as a mechanic. It's a great design. It doesn't bolt on. You can open it from either side of the car. Two people can take the hood right off and you have all the access in the world. You're not fighting prop rods, you're not fighting anything. And then when you put it back on, you just set the thing back on the car and it goes back in its hood hinges and it all lines up perfectly. So the whole car used to run off of 6 volts. Modern drivetrains and LSs all run off of 12 volts. So we maintained the 6 volt body harness essentially, and there's a 12 volt to 6 volt voltage converter that when you turn the key on, it powers up everything. So all your turn signals, gauge clusters, headlights, all that works off of 6 volt. And a car like this, you're not taking out at midnight going to the bar. It's a fair weather vehicle, so having blinding headlights isn't a critical feature, I feel, of this vehicle. This is probably one of the oldest vehicles I've had the pleasure of working on here. I've looked at a few Model A's and decided I didn't want to work on them, so I'll stick to 1950 and newer. I certainly hope the owner will be ecstatic with it. It has great burnouts, comfortable front bench seat, white wall tires, dead tree carcasses all over the side of it. Can't imagine why you wouldn't be. I accepted the challenge and it's come out really nice.